It is thundering, it is infernal. So here's the latest. Apparently, just so everyone knows, so since I was in Shasta and when they elected Trump, Trump actually is Saint Germaine. So that's Andrew for you all. And then now Biden, that's Lucifer. So since Trump first denied me for Aurora, because he just was working for MS-13, terrorist Latino gang association between Russell Pearson, Cristal Cordoba, Victoria Diaz, Miguel Lamboy, and all these Latino gang crooks. He was working for them, so he wasn't able to, love me for me, so he just stuck me with my maiden name. And then when he watched how cruel Lucifer was to me, and when he watched the result of his actions, he tendered up and now has a plan for making 3 Auroras, because he's no longer in power. And while he was in power, no matter how many times I emailed the Trump administration, I got nothing besides a zero. Like my phone was already, double hacked by Biden administration anyway. So anything I said, they used against me to make, Russ Vivo, Aurora Vivo back at House of the Future using Christine as their mascot. So basically what's going on now, you got like Russell Pearson back in Beirut, married Tatiana for Dima Tabrawi. They're at the embassy at House of the Future, and they turned the whole place into, which is, I can't judge things, but that's my home, that's my garden, that's where I grew up, that's where my grandmother raised me, that's where I planted every seed for every strawberry and every tomato and cucumber and mint and parsley I ever ate in my life, literally. So, them being there now, and apparently it turned into, a den of drugs and exchanged sex and now maybe because my grandmother was such a saint, I mean, when the actual morning star died, she never ever until the day she died ever even looked at any other man. So that's the lineage of women that I literally come from. Same for my mother. She had told me personally that even if he cheats, she would never leave him. However, after she passed, she woke up and she resurrected through me, and she left him. So now she's no longer with him in heaven. She's now actually with David. That is the truth. I've always known that David was, my mother's, I can't explain, but whatever. Anywho, so the Trump, administration now tried to get me to go down, to just for a meeting and everything. But the problem is, I know that since I left the Trump zone in Johnson City, he got with, Amber, who now I guess, she goes by Aurora, because when I gave the session to the guy from Ohio, he's yeah, Saint Germaine and yourself came in, so she says she's me, so they play these roles on each other, which is role play. It's not true. So I understand that they're in Shelter Cove. David is a Hollywood, a veteran movie producer, so he's definitely a veteran, and he's definitely been an incredible service to the United States of America, and the heritage he withholds and he stands for is everything. And I literally will and have stood, and I've already lost my life to protect his legendary heritage. I made a mistake when we first got the storage unit here in Bluffton. I allowed Jason Ayers to take over everything without even placing my name on there, which was the dumbest thing I've ever done, because now that's part of the Church of Ra. It's American heritage, it's global heritage for awakening, how he was hit by lightning and thunder, and how he literally got enlightened. And our aim, David and I, was to get love lightened, which is to awaken enlightened beings as one is love lightenment. However, we never really got there due to the terrorist MS-13 infestation that started back then. Years ago, this has been going on with the Latino gang and the terrorism. It was there since I was a child, MIRC 32, if anybody used that, chatting tool. Michael, Russell, MIRC, and Crystal, Christine, Carol, like that's the trio. Now they're using, you know, Christine back there, Crystal over here, and Carol's also in the mix. And like they all watch me, and then they all fornicate. So they make a network of a three-way situation. So it's the fake Illuminati triangle whereby they just usurp my power and never pay me back. Like the people at House of the Future, they're the ones behind all the Vivo music industry. And like, I'm not sure if it's Marvel or you know, Pixar or whatever, because like, you have the movie industry, it's also split. So like part of the people, they steal my data to make like that people boom, the other part like the other people boom, whatever else. So it's very kind, and I know that while Trump was in service, he was very attacked. Like the Middle East hated him. They're like, he's insane, whatever else. You know, they did everything to drag him down, and I wasn't really aware back then, and I had already lost my voice and my opportunity for the Hilary votes to even get my own. So then for me to have to stand for others when, because of courtesy of Amber and her black magic, I lost my place, you know, it's not very, very simple for me. So anywho, I want to salute you, Saint Germaine. Thank you so much for your violet flame of healing, anti-ego. I mean, it is really excruciating, you know, to have what has occurred in my life. I remember super well while we were at that hotel back in Johnson City. You know, if Tatiana, Christine, would call my like laptop, and she would like spend hours like just yak, like just seeking my validation, appreciation, you know, and then singing Belle, like that was my wedding song, like, you know, just like to appropriate my life and whatever else. Every time it would call, because I gotta like it at this point, and it would be like, just, you want to talk to that thing, just like bug the fuck out my face. You don't talk to this shit's in my fucking presence or in my room. That's pure ass ego. And he was correct. Like, look at it now. But it's not like he's far off too much better, because he's also trapped in a very lower dimension. You know, he just knocked up, and what can I do, or what can I say to assist him? And, you know, she's role-playing the other hoe. So I can't validate any agenda. That's why, you know, I refract from everything, because it's just not something that is there yet. So by now, what I've accomplished this Easter again is I've transmuted like Easter, and I've proven that actually, you know, literally, like, Jesus is not a Christian. It's the truth. He's a Christed being, but he hates Christians. So if you guys think that you actually are like somebody that is here to glorify God, and just, you're not. You're like hypocrites, and you're I'm just saying the truth. Like, that is actual hypocrisy. And for anybody, because like the Lynn Craft scenario too, because she had written my maiden name on the gospel and everything. So these people think that if I keep my maiden name, then I'm a Christian, and that's what Jesus wants, or whatever else. But that's not the truth. That is not the truth. You know, it is not the truth. I mean, my resurrection came from the divine, and that is the only truth. So I will keep on doing whatever I do until, literally, if God needs to crack open the sky and have you know, my name written all over the heavens, and say, and I need Goddess to say in person in front of all in creation who Aurora is, it will happen. And I have faith and trust, and I will continue this until the very end, because the only power now I have is in my free will and conserving my own personal purity. Because if you think about it, like, rape is not even real unless, you know, but like, you can just get a woman and sit her down. You can literally like hold her mouth open by machines, and you can shove like any, you know, genitalia masculine in her mouth. And if she's not doing the motion personally, like willingly, you know, it's never gonna happen. So you literally cannot, you know, like anybody makes pretend that, you know, like it's out of control. No, it's not. You have free will all the time. So by not giving anyone the satisfaction of surrendering willingly on my knees to any masculine is the only way I can maintain the mission purpose that I am standing for, which is one resurrection and the truth. And that's the only way I have right now, because literally that's the like little van there. Stephen lives right there down here. But like, first of all, I will not be in a position where I, am in a three-way with a woman that has been trying to kill me from the Latino gang. I mean, I don't have fear. I know very well what guidance came. I know very well my conduit circuitry to the divine. And I just want to say, to like Saint Germaine, how much I appreciate you. Thank you infinite for everything you've done and you stand for. I know, you're taking on the health thing of like a Lauderdale, David, guru fasting, whatever. I feel that's what you're about, right? With your mission now in like Shelter Cove by, like Whole Foods over there, whatever you do. And you seem to be like into sports and fitness and whatever else within your mission and stuff like that. And now Lucifer is all about, the fraud for crystal schools, with the fraud for crystal Bibles, with the fraud for crystal world is a magic world. It's like a mountain of stones that have different colors. And then, instead of like using the rainbow for what it is, which is, like United Colors of Benetton sort of thing, they used it for like the gay thing. Like in Miami, Street 11 is like rainbow and it's only for gay people. Like honestly, I have reclaimed my rainbow and my rainbow has nothing to do with gay at all. Like nothing to do in real terms. So, for people to go to any mountain and chop it off and like remove pieces of stone and like price them on a shelf, that in itself is raping my planet, because I know very well where my stones are located and what they serve, and anybody trying to extract that, and like that's, voyeurism, that's very wrong action, that is, everything but what it is. So, I've had all the visions whereby, they're like just making a cult out of this, which is super duper anti anything, especially given the fact that at Resurrection Church, Pastor Jim literally kicked me out of church on a three-way with Pastor Len, just because at the church picnic I was holding crystals in my hand and meditating by the lake. And then they're like, you are not of God, because anybody who gives power to a stone over the divine is a fraud. You are not God personified. You are not of Christ. You are not one of us. Yeah. You know what? I am not a Christian. If you did this to provide my baptism to Cordoba, and like you used me in your church yearbook and everything, Aurora Diamond Rainbow and everything, to rob me with Jade Breland at Wells Fargo, the manager who knows me, and she still like, I don't even know. I can't judge because I don't even know that they're using my money, but that's what I'm told. That is not right. That is totally hypocritical, and that is literally anti the resurrection in itself. So when it comes to these beings, there is no possible way that I can stand for any of that. Pastor Dan said to me that the tribe of Dan in literal terms was full of like fornicational sins in like, Jerusalem. So here's a redemption for you all, and gratitude for yet another wonderful day.